Hello there, YouTube. This is Dr. Jacobs, and welcome to the Morning Slice. Now, this is a different angle than what you're used to because, well, it just makes it easier for what today's episode is going to be about to be at this angle. Now, we just got through with our series of You're Not Forgotten. So, I could jump into the next series, but I figured we'd do a little bit of a special episode in between. Now, what type of a special episode is this? Well, today we're going to be talking about treasures. And, uh, I've got a few that I want to show off. There was one that I wanted to show off, but I'll save that for the end. Now, what do I mean by treasures? So, there are different kinds of treasures that people have out there. People treasure, say, expensive things like video cameras and such. I know what you're saying. I have a video camera, why do I use a webcam for my recordings? I don't have a tripod. And I've been thinking about investing into one so that I could get better quality videos for you guys. But as of right now, no tripod, so webcam. Plus, it's easier on me to just record on the webcam because the cord that links it to the computer, my computer doesn't read. And then the file that it pulls off the SD card, I've got to use a converter to make it eligible to show to you guys. So I don't mind using the webcam. And some other things people treasure. People treasure their money, or their hobbies. Well, today I'm going to tell you about my favorite kinds of treasures. My favorite kinds of treasures are those with meaning behind them. Sentimental treasures. Now, in an earlier episode, I showed you my cat. That's a treasure of mine because that cat and I grew up together. I really don't know life without that cat. So, it's a treasure I have because, like I said, I grew up with that cat. Now, some other treasures I'm going to be talking about are a little more physical, but not too physical. Alright, so this is one of my treasures. This is a photo of my two nieces and their mother. Alright, I treasure this because I love my family and my nieces. And I never want to see anything bad happen to my nieces. I don't see them as often as I used to, but I still treasure the times that I get to spend with them. They're really sweet kids, and I'm glad that they're in my life. My next treasure is this little cross right here. This cross used to be part of a necklace, but I'll get more into that. So, the necklace came from my mom. It was one of her favorite necklaces, and she decided to give it to me. And the reason why the chain's missing is because my brother had a necklace, and the chain broke. So, since the chain on this was too small to fit around my neck and be comfortable, I gave it to my brother so that he could wear his necklace and the chain fit him perfectly. But I kept the cross because it was part of a necklace that my mom really loved. And I hold on to this necklace because it helps me think of her. No, she's not dead, she just lives away from me. And I like having this as a little memento of how much I love my mom and how much she loves me. I know I don't need a physical representation of that, but it's just nice knowing that I have something that was special to her in my possession. So my next one is this letter here. I'm not going to let you focus on any words, but this was mailed to me by one of my friends when he was doing his military boot camp. And I would have replied back to him, but big shocker, in the age of technology, I never really learned how to address a letter properly, and I'm okay admitting that. I know I probably should have learned, but, the past is the past. I'll probably learn how to do that sometime in the future because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a time in my life when I'm going to need to do that. The next treasure on our list is this urn. This urn is a sentimental treasure to me because inside of it are some of my father's ashes. And I keep these close to me because it's a good way for me to remember that even though I didn't know him very often and he wasn't in my life very long, he is here for me now. And sometimes when I'm depressed or stuff like that, I sometimes like to talk to this urn with his ashes in it, and it comforts me. Now then, our next treasure on our list is going to be this picture. Now, this picture was drawn for me by a dear friend. Well, she used to be a dear friend. And she was having a bad day, and I helped her somehow. I don't remember what I did, but she made this thank you letter for me, and I've held on to it since my senior year of high school when I received it. And that brings me on to the treasure that I unfortunately can't show you, but again, not all treasures are physical. There was a physical representation of this treasure, but in a hurry to clean my room, I had it laying on my desk folded up, and I accidentally threw it away. And when I figured that out today before recording, I was literally feeling so down that I almost didn't want to record because it meant so much to me. But knowing that this story will live on in my memory, in my heart, and now on YouTube for you guys to listen to, I can feel a little better about it. But so it was my last year of high school. It was my last day of high school before graduation, and the seniors were all called on the announcements to go to the auditorium for some sort of assembly. And I had this really, really close friend in my first period class, which was the only period I went to that day. And throughout the whole year, we had been like brother and sister. And we cared for each other deeply. So, as I got up from the class for the final time, I was about to head to the door, but she stood up and stopped me. She handed me this folded up piece of paper. I unfolded it. I read the note as fast as I could. It was in manga/anime style like this. And it was just a picture of her thanking me for being there with her the entire year. And then, I don't know if it was the first time that this ever happened, but I think it was. So I'm just going to say it was the first time, but I really believe it was the first time that we ever gave each other a friendly hug. And it was a goodbye hug because we thought we'd never see each other again. And I cherished that picture so much. And I had lost it at one point and was devastated for months that I had lost it. And now it's, I found it. I was so relieved to have found it. And now it's gone again, but this time it's not lost in my house. I know for a fact I threw it away because I was in a hurry when I was cleaning that day and I was picking up all sorts of pieces of paper. I knew I should have looked at them more thoroughly, but I didn't. So I ended up throwing away the physical representation of my cherished memory with this friend of mine, in which we had spent my last year of school together, growing a very close bond. But don't fret. That friend, well, as I said, this picture was drawn by a once friend, and I said I'd get more into that. I'm not sure if I've already said this, but this picture and that picture were drawn by the same person. And in case I didn't say it earlier, that person at this time is my fiance. That's right. My high school friend that we figured we were as close as siblings. Well, there was no denying that she had feelings for me, even though I denied it, and I couldn't help but feel that I had feelings for her, even though I was with someone else. But they weren't feelings like where I was tempted to cheat on my partner at the time. But I figured that if I hadn't been in a relationship, I probably would have been swooning over this girl, and now I have a even bigger treasure with her. The treasure of knowing that we're engaged, and once we get the money and the place, we'll be able to live our lives together. And those are my favorite kinds of treasures. Sentimental ones, things to remember loved ones, remembering times of the past, getting just things from friends while they're away, having something to always be able to see people when you know that you don't see them that often, being able to be around people of your past even though they're gone. There are so many kinds of treasures in the world, but sentimental ones, by far, in my humble opinion, are the best kind. So, like I said, this is between our two series, and there might be another one of these little extra ones while I'm trying to figure out what the next series is, but in the comment section below, if you so will, let's list some of your treasures. What are your favorite kind of treasures? Do you have treasures? And of course, the all-time question, what's more important to you? The physical representation or the meaning behind it? Like I said, that picture, I really wish I had it. I really wanted to show it to you guys, but I was an idiot and accidentally threw it away, but I'll always remember that day because it was so special to me, and that's what made the picture so special. And I, I know this isn't a normal slice of life video. This isn't any kind of advice or, like I said, we will do biblical things, and we've yet to read from the Bible yet, but that's coming up. But I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to do this episode because, well, there's so many things I treasure in life, and all of them usually have to do with the feeling and not the item. So, this has been the Morning Slice, a slice of life for your morning.